Hey everybody, I'm Alex Pearl. I am doing a little bit of a different video this time. I saw some of the 5 scents I love and 5 I hate videos, and I decided that it was kind of a fun idea and I was going to give it a shot. So I made a list, and I'm going to do as much of this as possible just in one go, stream of consciousness style. I want to have as few edits as possible, so that's a little bit different for me. And I also wrote down not just a list of 5 that I love and 5 that I hate, but the principal players as far as notes go for each, and some of the things that come to mind as like general vibes that I get off of that fragrance. So I'm going to start off with the 5 that I love, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is La Nuit by Paco Rabanne. And to me this is sadly under-discussed, undervalued in the fragrance community. I hardly ever, if ever, hear anybody talk about this, but La Nuit is gorgeous. The star players here, 2 of the most bold in this fragrance are 2 of my very favorite notes, period, and those are honey and civet. They're done to perfection here, and civet and honey love one another, and I love the both of them. So you've got civet, honey, oak moss, rose, leather. They are harmoniously blended. I wrote down sexy, sophisticated, adult, because this isn't something that's for kids. It isn't aimed at teenagers. It is not sweet. This is something for the grown folks. Thank you very much. I wrote down not just unisex, but unisexy. And I realize that that's corny as hell, but that's me. I also wrote down Kouros's cooler, older brother or sister, because to me, this fragrance has a similar feel to it, to Kouros, but smoothed out, evened out, polished, sexy, refined. It purrs elegantly, whereas Kouros kind of shouts in your face. I still like Kouros, but I would take La Nuit over it any day, any day. Next, on the 5 that I love, this is outrageous, daringly different. It was a tribute scent for Diana Vreeland, and oh my god! I loved the original, but whew, the outrageous flanker is bananas. Star players as far as notes include oud, rose, leather, orris. That's what I get the most of. And as far as the feel that it gives me, I wrote down aggressive, wicked, dark, ugly, beautiful. Because, like, no joke, this is something that is so potent. It's so gross, it's gorgeous, and I love that. This is my most powerful fragrance in my entire collection. This actually got me kicked out of bed once. I'm not exaggerating. I was told to get up out of bed and to shower it off because it was so strong, and I'm making a direct quote here, it's burning my eyes. And being a big fan of powerful fragrances, if somebody can tell me that it's so strong it's burning their eyes, I'm like, great, that's just powerful enough for me. Moving right along, 3rd on my 5 that I love is Halston's Couture. Again, it's something that I don't hear discussed borderline ever on videos on YouTube, and it is a shame because Couture is perfection. And it's not Halston by Halston. They both have the same style of bottle, the bottle that was designed by Elsa Peretti, but Halston by Halston has like a cream or white colored plastic top of the bottle, and Couture, it's sterling silver, and then the bottle itself on Couture is a frosted glass. Halston by Halston, it's just transparent. They're very much different fragrances. The bottles look different, so don't get them confused. Star players as far as notes include oak moss, rose, lemon, bergamot, jasmine, patchouli, and amber. And as far as the feel that it gives me, I wrote down diaphanous, shimmering, radiant, effortless, glowing, and I wrote down something that my friend Amber said when I wore it to work. She was like, "Oh, somebody smells Sunday fresh." Every time I wear this, I think of her saying Sunday fresh. It is much lighter and more sparkling than you would think when you hear things like, you know, earthy notes like a smoky patchouli and a genuine oak moss. But it is, and it does what it does brilliantly. It's one of my favorite out of all of the Chypre that I own, and I love it, I love it, I love it. I wish I had more of it, even though it's a nearly full bottle. It's one of those things that, like, because there's not a lot out there, I use it pretty sparingly, because I love this stuff. And next, number 4 on the love list, it is this beast, Jungle Elephant by Kenzo. And I know there are going to be some people out there that read me and are like, now it's pronounced Jungle Elephant, but like, to hell with you. So, yeah, I'm from Chicago, like, sue me. I love this. I love this so much. Star players here in the notes, ylang ylang, clove, mango, cardamom, vanilla. I get a ton of each one of those and all at once. I wrote down dense, sweet and spicy, cozy, delicious, comforting. It's kind of amazing that Jungle Elephant smells a bit like the holidays to me, and it smells just as much like exotic, and there's something magic about it. Like I said earlier, I love something with some power. This is a powerhouse, and it's also super cozy and inviting and cuddly, and I love that. And top on my list of 5 loves. This is one of my top 5 of all time. This is one of my ride or die ladies. This is Bee by the House of Zoologist. You've probably heard me gush about it before. I'm gonna continue to gush about it well into the future. I love Bee. If I could drink it, I would. If I could bathe in it, I would. If I could afford it, I would buy 10 bottles. I love Bee. Star players here are honey, and it's an excellent honey. Vanilla, saffron, broom, mimosa, and incense. And I wrote down for vibes, decadent, baroque, opulent, gorgeous. I wrote down dry sweet. So I know that this might sound really dumb, but if you listen to a lot of reviews here on YouTube or people opining on Bee, they usually focus on how like the vanillic elements, the like sweetness of it, the honey, the fact that they'll say that it's like a really gloopy, ambery honey vanilla, or they'll talk about how like dry and spicy it is and incensey it is and, you know, smokiness, etc., etc. But I hear very few people mention that it does both things at once equally well, and it does. It's both like dry and sweet in equal measure. That's what makes it excellent. I also wrote down autumn because there's something about it. I don't want to be too pretentious or painterly in my description, but it smells to me like autumn because of the kind of colors that come up in my head, because I grew up in the upper Midwest. I think of fall, I think of apple orchards in fall with maybe like bees being kept on the premises as well, and just laying back and enjoying the smell of the world around you in that specific environment. I love bee. I love bee to the moon and back. Unfortunately though, we're done with the loves, and now we're gonna move on to board the hate train. So, number 1 on my list of hates, it's kind of like the counterpoint to bee in a way that sucks. This is Pure Honey by Kim Kardashian. Oh, it was a cheapie, and I still regret spending the money on it because it's cheap, but it sucks. It sucks. Star players as far as notes. You'll notice something missing. I get kettle corn. I get a little white flora and a little vanilla. Where's the honey? Look at the packaging. This box is golden. It's meant to look like honeycomb. You've got the bottle that, like, it's cute. The bottle is cute, but it's super clumsy to hold and try to spray. It's got this little bee on it. It's got honey-colored juice, but it smells to me like sweetened popcorn. It smells like kettle corn, and that's not at all what I wanted from this. You've got to walk your talk, bitch. This is not giving it to me. This is not giving me honey at all. This smells to me like a stale, pale version of Cinemaniac. And I don't mind the buttered popcorn feel off of Cinemaniac, because Cinemaniac was supposed to smell like a movie theater. This was supposed to smell like honey. Where's the honey? Disappointing. Hated it. Nope, no, not for me. Oh yeah, and no, like worse than anything else. So it also performs poorly, like as if it wasn't bad enough that it smells like kettle corn. Great. Next on the list, as far as hated fragrances, oh man, this was one of the first that I picked up when I got into vintage perfumes. I hated it then, I still hate it now. This is Emeraude by Coty. Yeah, Emeraude. This is the one that taught me that I hate most aldehyde heavy fragrances. They just don't work for me. Oh, no. Star players here. Aldehydes. Sour citrus. Rosewood. It smells fusty and it smells dated to me. There's some fragrances that smell classic or timeless, but this feels dated. This smells almost like you'd taken a cheap bottle of 4711, dumped it all over some sheets, stuffed them into a cupboard, and just let them sit for 57 years. You come back to it, it's moldery, manky, it's stuffy and fusty, dusty. No. Not for me. I wore it maybe like 2 or 3 times, and I felt self-conscious every single time I wore it. I got a headache every single time I wore it. Hate it. No, thank you. Next, number 3 on the hate list is Angel by Thierry Mugler. I know I'm gonna catch some flack for this, and I don't care. This is my opinion, I'm gonna stand by it. Star players as far as notes. Cotton candy, and it's that ethyl maltol crap that I cannot stand. Patchouli, vanilla, tonka, I get some white musk. No, not for me. I wrote down tacky, trashy. I just wrote down the word floozy because this evokes floozy to me. Vulgar, desperate for attention, infantilizing, tawdry. And tawdry really is the word for it. I wrote down that it's the olfactory equivalent of visible camel toe. That about sums it up. Angel is very much for some people, and if it's for you, that's great. I admire you. it ain't for me. Never again. I've worn it more than a handful of times. I've given it every possible try. Yeah, I hated it every time. Nah, not for me. No, 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 no. Next, number 4 on the hate list. This is something that I actually like the smell of. The smell of it is not the thing that makes me hate it. It's Fujiyama by Success de Paris. Why is it that I hate this? I hate this because the performance is trash. Trash, 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 not for you. What does it smell like? Bergamot, nutmeg, rosewood, jasmine, cedar, oak moss. That's all good. It smells like kind of like a generic version of CK1. It's pretty good. I have no complaints there. But man, like less than 30 minutes after I put it on, and I can dump this stuff on me, it is gone. The only thing that I can use this for is like spraying a few sprays on my chest and my shirt before I go running or, you know, before exercising at all. But that's it, because this is garbage tier performance. It doesn't project, it washes away, just poof, here and then gone. No. And that's the most frustrating kind of thing for me, because when you like a scent but the performance is just so poor, it's infuriating, and that makes me hate Fujiyama. I hate it because it could have been pretty good, a little derivative, admittedly, but good if the performance was there. And number 5. Number 5 is one of my most hated fragrances of all time, if not my most hated fragrance. I hate it so much. I'd had to decant it from its original bottle into a spray bottle. So this is not the bottle that it came in, but this is Intimate by Revlon. I hate Intimate. Aldehydes and benzoin, the deadly duo, it makes me want to barf. Tons of aldehydes, headache-inducing aldehydes. Patchouli, oak moss, I wrote down nauseating, I wrote down repellent, again, not classic, dated. It made me so intensely self-conscious and uncomfortable and gave me such a blinding headache that I have only worn it twice. I had read glowing reviews on Fragrantica, and even just like a couple of months ago, I picked up a book by Barbara Herrmann, and I loved the book, Scent and Subversion, but her review of Intimate? Come on, Barbara.
Barbara, please! Please, Barbara!
What were you smelling? This is dreck. This is terrible. I can't even. I've had this for like more than 10 years, and every time I think like, oh, maybe I can give it another try, maybe. Oof. No. No. There's nothing about this that is aesthetically pleasing. It is an actively repellent, destructive thing. I loathe it from top to bottom, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody, not even people that I detest. I wouldn't inflict this on my worst enemy's child. I hate it. So I strongly suggest that you never get it like on or around you. I hope you have enjoyed this list. If you disagree with any of my picks, feel free to try to argue with me. It's not going to work. And if you're interested in making one of these 5 I love, 5 I hate videos, don't wait for somebody to tag you. You don't have to. You can just do it if you like. You don't even have to tag anybody else. I'm not, because that's obnoxious. So why don't you just enjoy your day, have fun, only wear what you love, and I love you. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. That's all I got.